Captain America: Brave New World is a political action thriller about the past, present, and future character of America. The film posits that our country is its own greatest threat, and that we must learn to trust and forgive ourselves, fight division, and all work together toward a better world. The entire world is watching us, trying to determine our moral fortitude, and we must shine under the pressure, not give in to rage and hatred. It's a pretty compelling theme, and it's well explored by a cast of characters who each represent a facet of American culture. To name a few, there's the President, Thaddeus Ross, and he's our leadership, strong, willful, and patriotic, but prone to zealous rage. Then Captain America is our bold, heroic heart, necessary for moral clarity and pained by feelings of inadequacy. Ruth is our mind, eyes, and ears. She's clever and perceptive, but has difficulty balancing duty with compassion. These characters need one another, not only to survive, but to fight for a better future. At every turn, sinister forces will act to pull them apart, and in doing so, dismantle America and her legacy. Our country's violent past, acts of internal and external treason, obsession with optics, and divisive rhetoric are all weapons of the film's antagonist. An antagonist who has every reason to be furious with this country. And in the end, as you might guess, America does manage to overcome distrust and disharmony, banding together to quell the rage of our leadership, use our observational and intellectual might with due clarity, and thrive under the immense geopolitical pressure. For everyone's sake, it's the nation's duty to stand strong, not succumb to chaos and hate. And if a film were only its themes, we could wrap things up right there, but there are other things to consider, like the cinematography, soundtrack, dialogue, pacing, choreography, world building, the assorted stuff that makes this story a story. And unfortunately, Brave New World is bad at all of it. Firstly, despite its ambitions as a grand mystery thriller, the story is simple and shockingly small in scope. There are only a couple plot threads, the characters are constantly repeating needless expository dialogue, and none of the twists are the least bit impactful. Brave New World simply has no idea how to build or maintain tension. Like, you're told early on, more than once, that America has been experimenting on people in a prison black site. Then later, our heroes visit a prison black site with an attached evil lab, and they're seriously like, "Whoa, what do you think all this freaky lab stuff is for?" Speaking of that scene, the film blows its whole load right there. After the villain gets introduced and monologues about how big his brain is, there are no more revelations to shake up the story or induce curiosity in the audience. It just transitions straight into a mindless string of action sequences. And look, I'm not an action scene nut or anything, but even by my low standards, the lighting, choreography, and special effects were embarrassingly poor. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, the overarching antagonist is deeply unthreatening and unconvincing. His superpower is supposed to be that he predicts things really good, but he can't predict the unfailing American spirit or whatever. But we never actually see him think or scheme or use his mind in any meaningful capacity. We're informed of his intelligence, but whenever it comes time for him to act, he just uses poorly explained and overly convenient mind control. It's really hard to be invested in something so lazy and shallow. And these are just the big issues, I could complain about individual idiotic scenes all day, but the bottom line is, things in this story just sort of happen. They don't have a natural causal flow to them. If the script wants something, it will manifest it from the ether, and you just have to live with that. The character of Sidewinder is effectively a walking plot device to that end, and every time he's on screen, it's a bad showing. So yeah, there's a whole lot stupid about Captain America: Brave New World, but despite all that, I really properly enjoyed it, and even thought it was pretty alright. Despite the many ways it fails to deliver a coherent narrative, it always skims just above baseline competency, and its thematic weight was worth some of the terrible writing.